You are a neighbor, and you need a neighbor. Perhaps it would surprise you to find out that your second greatest purpose in this life is to be a great neighbor. Your first and greatest purpose, as Jesus lays out, is to love the Lord your God with all your heart. But the second greatest purpose in this life is to love your neighbor as yourself. This has been true for a long time. You go back all the way to the time when God gave the Israelites the 10 commandments. Guess how many of those commandments were about loving your neighbor? 7 of them. 7 of the 10 of those commandments were about ways that you can love your neighbor. That's an important thing, and it's important to God. And so I suppose the next question logically is, who's your neighbor? Is it the person that lives next door to you? Well, as Jesus lays out in the parable of the Good Samaritan, he says, everyone is your neighbor. You are a neighbor, a good neighbor to somebody by taking care of other people's needs that you come in contact with in your life. It's not just the person that lives next door, but it's the person that you run into at the grocery store. It's the person that's a part of the PTA with you. It's the person that sits next to you at your son's basketball games. It's your friends. It's your relatives. It can even be your spouse. We are a neighbor, and we need a neighbor. God desires that we be good neighbors to others, but He also desires that we have good neighbors around us. Because He knows that a deep need inside of every single human is the need for companionship. This is about as old as the world itself. God, in the process of creation, created Adam, and then He says, it is not good for man to be alone. Now, this is true especially in marriage, and that's why God gives to Adam Eve, but it's true in life as well. You were not meant to be alone. You were not meant to be isolated and on an island, but you were meant to be around people. You were meant to be surrounded by neighbors who are loving you as they love themselves, just as you love your neighbor as yourself. And so, make it your goal. Make it your goal to be a great neighbor, which means you got to be out and you got to be around people. COVID has made that a little hard, and we can be safe about doing that, but you still need that human interaction. You still need to be around people and talking with people. You can't isolate yourself because that's unhealthy for you and not pleasing to God. And secondly, here's what it means. It means that you need to work hard to be a great neighbor, to be the greatest neighbor that anyone has ever had. In the next few weeks, we're going to talk about how you can do that in a God-pleasing way.